I want to ask a question and offer a thought about this question. I want to ask this question to a middle schooler who is sitting in the school cafeteria. I want to ask this question to a cousin who is sitting around the Shabbat table. I want to ask this question to someone who is in a boardroom of a synagogue or another institution, somebody who is employed as part of a corporation, and many other people in other situations. And the question is, given the choice between doing the wrong thing and the right thing, why should we do the right thing? So that is my question. And to help us think about the question, I want to tell you a story. And before I tell you the story, I need to share that in the Torah, there are two commandments that are given, two things that we're expected to do. And the reward for those things is arichut yamim, is a long life. So the first is kabed et avicha ve'et imecha. We're supposed to respect our parents so that we might live a long life. And the second, which seems very different, is that if we are in the field, we come upon a nest, we want to take the eggs out of the nest, we see the mother bird, we have to shoo the mother bird away and not take the eggs if the mother bird is watching. Same response, so that you may live a long life. So that is to help you understand the story. So there was a man and his young son, and they were sitting in the middle of the field, and the man noticed that there was a nest, and he said to his son, I'd like you to go and to bring me the eggs from the nest. The only thing was that the nest was not sitting in the middle of the field, it was high up in a tree. It was not so easy to get to. And so this young man, he climbed up the tree and he got the eggs out of the nest. Before he did that, he noticed that the mother bird was there. He shooed the mother bird away. On his way down, he tripped and he fell, and he did not survive that incident. Now, a very wise Jewish sage heard about this story, and he lost his faith completely. He said, this little boy did both of the things that you're supposed to do in order to merit a long life. He honored his father, and he also made sure that the mother bird didn't watch while he was taking the eggs. Why did this happen? The faith of this individual came completely crashing down. We know people who do lots of the right things and good things don't happen to them. We know people who seem to do one wrong thing after another and they seem to be doing just fine. So I repeat the question. If we have the choice between the right thing and the wrong thing, why do we do the right thing? Do we do it because we want to receive a reward? The Torah is filled with statements about what rewards we're going to get if we do what God asks us to do, and what punishments we'll get if we don't do what God asks us to do. But it's interesting, there are some outlying theologies that find their way into the Bible. One is that Job lived a perfectly good life, a perfectly obedient life, but he did not have a good life. He was actually suffering very, very badly. So his life was an objection to the notion that if you do the right thing, you get rewarded. If you do a bad thing, you get punished. And then we have Kohelet, whose words we read during Sukkot, and he said the following. He called it out. He said, Mikre echad latzadik v'larasha. The same thing happens to righteous people as happens to wicked people. Some people have said that one of the reasons we believe in an afterlife, this is interesting, is because the afterlife belief was a way to deal with injustice in this world. So people said, you don't see the full picture. In the next world, the righteous will be rewarded and the wicked will be punished. Now, with Yom Kippur only a few days behind us, I want to say something this morning which is very, very direct. And I believe that we learn this from what Kohelet said, and we learn this from our own experience. And I can show you the support of many of our sages, and here is what I want to say. We should do the right thing because it's the right thing. It is that simple. We don't do it because we're expecting a reward. It may never come. We don't do it because we expect people to treat us more kindly. They may not. They may actually betray us for doing the right thing. That may happen to us again and again. We can take an important stand that we know is the right thing, and some people stop talking to us. Things don't get better. They sometimes actually get worse when we do the right thing. Moses went to Pharaoh and said, "Let my people go." And what happened? Things got worse before they got better. Pharaoh said, "You have the nerve to come to me? I'm going to make things even harder for these people." So I want us to just think about all the situations that we're in. For example, our friends are gossiping about somebody. What do? We can join in. We can sit quietly, or we can say something. We can say, "This is not okay." It is almost never popular to opt for the third option, but in our hearts, we know that that's the right thing to do. So I am asking us, as we continue into this new year, to think about the many times where we have a choice, and it's clear. Sometimes it's not clear, sometimes there's ambiguity, but sometimes it's really clear what the right thing is and what the wrong thing is. If we are waiting for a reward, it might elude us. If we are waiting for people to hug us and pat us on the back, they might not be ready to do so, not today, and maybe not for a long time. We need to do the right thing because it's the right thing. I'm saying this to all of us, the middle schooler in the cafeteria and the cousin around the Shabbat table and people in boardrooms and people in professional circumstances. Rewards are nice, but they are not guaranteed. I say to myself and to each of us, let us have the courage to do the right thing because it's the right thing. And hopefully blessings will flow from our decisions. Shabbat Shalom. We continue our service on page 155. If you are able, please rise for Chatzi Kaddish on page 155, introducing the Musaf service for the holiday.
We'd like to invite Max to join.
Max, you have been invited to help your buddy lead the Musaf service. Page 155.
Amen. Bagalav Yizman Kariv Imru.
Amen. Yehesh Meira Mamivara. Le'alam le'al me'omaya. Yitbarach.
Yitbarach. Yishtabach. Yitbar.